This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The New York Liberty are the reigning champions, and the Golden State Valkyries are the newest team to join the league since 2008. Watch the WNBA this season on ABC, CBS, ESPN, ION, and Prime, starting May 16th.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your playoff party. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
Couple 13-14 pass here on the Common Man program. Remember, when you use foul language on the KFAN text line, that's a no-no. Be careful. I was going to ask you a question. Well, I'll do that later. Why don't we go ahead and just start 5-3-4 here on the Common Man program.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hit, hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
The Twins have now won 10 games in a row after sweeping a doubleheader yesterday in Baltimore. That's the 9th time in franchise history they've won 10 in a row, just the 2nd time since 2008. The bullpen pitched 9 1/3 scoreless innings. Cody Clemens hit a go-ahead 3-run homer in Game 2. Common, your thoughts? So the Twins, not so long ago, were really poor, really bad in the AL Central. They've now won 10 in a row. They've been on a hot streak. If the playoffs started today, they'd be in the postseason.
Are they 22-20 now or 23-20?
I think maybe at least 23 because they were 21-20. They won 2 yesterday.
All right, so
23-20.
23-20. And we talked about this a couple of times. I mentioned how many in a row was that on? Did you say 11? 10 in a row. If we were 23-20 and had lost 10 in a row, we'd be bitter, right? You'd be going
very.
You still be above 500, but you'd be going, it's a tailspin. It's a Gary Lewis and the Jayhawks kind of a...
and they're up 3-0 right now.
And they're up 3-0, but instead it's just been the opposite. And, it's... The team's not a lot different from last year. I think they're kind of... I don't remember how they... I don't remember if they started...
They got a bad start last year.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so they got off to a bad start this year as well. So it seems like they're sort of duplicating that to a certain extent. they've been able to play a lot of the dregs of the league, and that's not their fault. They don't put the schedules together. They don't put the rosters together, the lineups of the other clubs in there. But they are starting to play better, too. I mean, they're getting contributions from a lot of different players, including Buxton's been really good. I think he had a couple of games where he went into a bit of a, I don't know, he was just 6 strikeouts and 10 at-bats or something. But he's I don't say he's carried the team. But he's been their best player, I think, their best everyday player for the season. Any more word on, you said Correa and Buxton collided in the outfield and Correa left the game?
Correa was pulled from the game, and Buxton is still in. So.
Okay, but we've heard nothing about the extent or the severity of Correa's injury. And the pitching staff is good. It's I like it. And it's what we talked about yesterday. I think you brought up yesterday or the day before about not making it up any ground. So I looked at the standings again today they're still 5.5 games out. Everybody else is what? Detroit continues to win, I think. Cleveland.
Detroit's 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah.
They've won 3 in a row.
Yeah. Kansas City, Cleveland, and Detroit all continue to win. So it's great. I made the comparison. It's almost like NFC North NFC North has 4. We know for sure 3 quality teams in Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, at least on paper, headed into the season. Chicago should be much improved. And in the AL Central, you toss out the White Sox, and you got 4 pretty good ball clubs. So it's good stuff.
By the way, John Bonus will join the Tennis Fitzgerald in studio 2 to 3 tomorrow. So lots of Twins talk with Johnny Bonus.
Sweet.
Question number 2. It's time now to focus on the Frost.
Yeah, the Frost and Scepters were in overtime last night at the X, and then this happened. Trying
to keep Minnesota to the outside. Taylor Heisey with the shot. She scores! Minnesota Magic in overtime. The reigning Walter Cup champions are heading back to the PWHL Finals.
Whoa.
It's magic. Yeah, Taylor Heisey scored the game-winning goal in OT to give the Frost a 4-3 win, and they win the series 3-1 over Toronto. So the defending Walter Cup champs advance to the finals. They'll face either Montreal or Ottawa for the Walter Cup. Ottawa leads that series 2-1. Common, can the Frost go back-to-back?
Yeah, I believe they can. This seems very similar to last year, right? Wasn't it the
very
same
similar
thing? Kind of backed in, and then all of a sudden went on a tear.
4-seed.
Yeah, right.
Barely gets into the playoffs.
Who did we beat last year? I don't remember. Do you remember who we beat in the?
We beat Toronto and then Boston, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But it was Boston. So this year,
the Fleet.
And you say right now it's Montreal and who?
Ottawa leads Montreal 2-1.
All right.
They just might be a team that's just built for playoff hockey.
That could be it.
That happens sometimes.
Is the final series also best of 5, or does that go 7?
That's best of 5.
Best of 5.
Yeah.
I like what I see. It's like, how can you not? They have a chance to be back-to-back world champions and the only champions ever in that league. So, go Frost.
Question number 3.
I'm being told Buxton left the game, too.
Oh, did he not leave the game?
He is not
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I tuned it over to golf, but I didn't see anything on Twitter about it.
Yeah.
And now it's time to go.
He stated initially, at least.
Yes.
In the trenches.
This is a Barrero question, so go ahead and eat your lunch. NFL owners will vote next week on a resolution that would allow players to participate in flag football during the 2028 Olympics, according to a memo the league sent to teams this week. The resolution establishes rules and a basic structure for how the NFL hopes to see the process work, subject to negotiations with the NFL Players Associations and Olympics-related athletes. They include permission for any player under NFL contract to participate in tryouts, a limit of 1 player per team participating in the actual games for each national team participating, allowing, in addition, a team's designated international player to play for his home country, a salary cap credit for any player who is injured, an expectation that Olympic flag football teams will establish medical staffs and field surfaces that comply with NFL minimum standards, and a schedule that, quote, does not unreasonably conflict with an NFL players' league and club commitments. Common, will the NFL allow its players to participate in the Olympics? And if so, will you watch?
I think they will. Tim, have you ever heard this one? you can injure yourself. You can sprain your ankle walking down the stairs at home. I mean, it's flag football. It's non-contact. So I think they will allow it because also the NFL likes as much publicity as they can get. And think about that.
Especially
NFL
international
players, yes,
publicity.
Exactly. I wouldn't watch that event any more than I don't watch much Olympics anyways. I boycotted the summer games because they don't have the sack race, which is what not only was I a sack race participant, but I excelled. I have a blue ribbon at home when I won the sack race, 6th grade, Adams School track and field days. So I've kind of boycotted the Summer Olympics ever since. But, so I don't think I would watch, but I'd kick it on if it comes on.
I'd tune in, yeah. If Tyreek Hill's playing.
I might watch it a little bit. Who knows?
We do a quick one?
Sure.
Question number 3. And now it's time to go in the paint.
We've already talked about Wolves Warriors. I want to talk about the Warriors aspect of this comment. Okay. Steph Curry, 37 years old. Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, both 35 years old. Moving forward, should the Warriors rebuild or run it back?
Oh, I don't know how quickly you can run it back. I don't know how much they've lost. Look, we've discussed this over and over again. We have no idea how well the Warriors would have played against the Wolves had they had Steph Curry. Would the series have been different? I don't know. I think it would be. I don't. That's not to say I'm.
Final result might not have been different, but
yeah, but it would have been a different series. So I haven't seen anything from Curry that would lead me to believe, well, it's all over for him now. Can't do it. Same thing with Butler, and same thing with Draymond. Now, I don't know, as they go into the next season, will they lose more? I think they might need a little bit of help, like all teams do, but I'd probably run it back again. Wouldn't you?
They kind of have to, as long as you have Steph Curry there.
Yeah, so I don't think it's over for them, but it's autumn time going on November for the Golden State Warriors.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
So there we go. We got 2 things coming up. Tenneby's going to give us a keyword for the bonus bucks brought to you by BigDeck.com. And then other side of the break, Tenneby, it's pretty exciting. Program Password Invitational Reveal show, where we'll reveal who plays with whom and whom plays whom. We'll do that after you give us a keyword.
And you can watch it at KFAN.com/watch, by the way.
Very good.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword money at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is money. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The New York Liberty are the reigning champions, and the Golden State Valkyries are the newest team to join the league since 2008. This season will be the first with Kelsey Plum on the Los Angeles Sparks, Jewel Lloyd on the Aces, and Alyssa Thomas in Phoenix. Whether you're a lifelong basketball fan or new to the game, the WNBA invites you to be a part of something bigger. Catch live games, follow your favorite teams, and witness history in the making. Watch the WNBA this season on ABC, CBS, ESPN, ION, and Prime, starting May 16th.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. points. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job. So you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
KFAN and Sukup Manufacturing bring you Fan on the Farm. Starting May 19th, 9 to noon, we'll be taking your tractor talkbacks. Each day, one farmer will be chosen to receive a Sukup prize pack, including a Carhartt cooler and a Brewmate Growler canteen. Get the full details at KFAN.com/farm. Sukup Manufacturing Company, helping farmers feed and fuel the world.
The legendary Mark Rosen of Channel 4 Sports your whole life to sports fame will join us just before 2 o'clock. But now, 1:15, no, I know there are people that hit their knees every night hoping that Purple Prey returns, but it won't until next year. But we do have a special segment for you here at 1:15. Program password, invitational reveal show.
Yeah, program password invitational. This will be year 4. And this is the bracket reveal. We have 16 players. Last year we did the draft.
Yeah.
This year we went back to just me kind of being a dictator and just choosing the teams on my own.
Is it easier to do it this way too? Because there's a lot of work to do what we did
Well, the draft,
year.
you just had to organize every single person to be there at the same time, at the same date. And then, you couldn't really schedule any games after that, because then you now had to go back to each individual team.
Oh, sure.
And say, hey, when can you play? So from a scheduling standpoint, this made it a little bit easier.
Perfect.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to go.
All right. The #1 seed in this year's Program Password Invitational. They'll be playing next Wednesday, May 21st at 1:15 p.m.
Was I available that day? Sorry. I had to say.
Unfortunately, you're not the #1 seed. The Broad Squad is back. Lil B and Marnie Gellner. Our teammates once again. Lil B, she's the all-time wins leader, 90 and 72. 4-3 in the Program Password Invitational. Her teammate Marnie Gellner is one of the goats of this game. 20 and 5.
That's astonishing.
Her 80% winning percentage, third best all time. She's also won 4 in a row. And Marnie and Lil B together were both runners-up. Or is it runner-ups? Runners-up or runner-ups?
Let's go with runners-up. That just sounds better.
They were both runners-up in the 2023 Program Password Invitational. And the two of them as a team together, 17 and 3 all time. The Broad Squad, Lil B and Marnie Gellner, are your #1 seed.
That's chemistry, right?
That's pretty good.
That's really good, yeah.
They'll be taking on the 8 seed. The 8 seed this year, Kevin Fallness and Mike Mussman are on the same team.
No.
Together. Fallness, 4 and 14 all time. He has the 5th worst record in Program Password history. Muss, 2 and 9 all time, the 3rd worst record in Program Password history. Fallness 1 and 3 in the PPI. Muss 0 and 3 in PPI. They have been on the same team together twice I actually think they were together the first Program Passer Invitational. They are 0-2 as a team. So Lil B and Marnie, the number 1 seed, will take on Fallness and Muss, the number 8 seed, next Wednesday, May 21st at 1:15 p.m.
I'm sure you've heard this cliche before, Tenneby, where, insert the name of the team or player or participant. Overconfidence is their only enemy. I think this is true in this case. Because Muss and Fallness are not the enemy. It's overconfidence. I think the only way Marnie and Lil B loses, they are just too overconfident and come in flat, right? I mean, otherwise it's over.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think the point spread will be like 40 in that game. The next matchup, the 4-5 matchup, obviously on the same bracket, same side of the bracket as the 1-8. Your number 4 seed, John Kriesel and Mark Rosen.
Whoa!
Yes, Kriesel 5-6 all time, but he did get a runner-up finish in last year's Program Passer Invitational as teammates with Ryan Donaldson. But this might be a little bit of a Lakers situation where he's like Luka and LeBron and he doesn't have much to work with. Because Rosen, 35-49 all time. Rosen also has the longest current active losing streak. He has lost 6 in a row. 0-2 in the Program Password Invitational. So Kriesel might have to carry Rosen on his back a little bit.
Very good.
So John Kriesel and Mark Rosen are teammates. They'll take on the number 5 seed, the common man Dan Cole, and Kevin Gorg. KG. Yeah, Common, you are best of the lousiest of the best, 86-84 all time. You have struggled in the PPI, just a 1-4 record in the tournament. Gorg, 4-4 overall, but he's won his last 3. He is also he is winless in the PPI, 0-1 all time. The two of you weren't planned to be on the same team together.
Correct.
And then when you two beat Lil B and Ron Johnson last week, 83-40, the committee made a late change here because they saw the chemistry between the two of them.
We're both goaltenders. Had about the same amount of success, Also, my record in the Program Password Invitation at 1-4. Let me just say this. It's hard to spit out the correct password answer when you have 2 hands wrapped around your neck, right? But that's where it is. It's just difficult to do, but I hope to turn that around.
Well, and KG's won a state tournament in hockey.
Well,
he knows how to win on the big stage, so I think he might help you out a little bit.
You are correct. That's what I think is good.
You should have just blamed your past teammates. You had Muss last year, so
yeah.
I don't know if that was a choke job. So Kriesel Rosen, 4 seed, versus Common and Gorg, 5 seed. That game will be May 29th at 1:15 p.m. That'll be the final of the 4 quarterfinals. Next up in the bracket, the 3 seed, champion in last year's Program Password Invitational, and maybe the greatest boss you could ever ask for, Greg Swedberg, will team up once again with Larry Mondello guy. They're back together.
LMG.
They played with each other in the first ever Program Password Invitational. They lost in the semis to Corey Cove and Paul Charchian. They are the 3 seed. Swedberg, 10-3 all time. 4th best win percentage in the history of Program Password. And like I said, champion last year. He comes in having won 3 in a row. Larry Mondello guy, the best record in Program Password history at 6-1 at 86%. He's won 3 in a row. He is 1-1 in Program Password Invitational. And that was 1-1 as a teammate with Greg Swedberg.
You know what else Greg Swedberg is really good at? I've been doing this now for the past week or so. I'll come in and I'll just recite lyrics to songs, not the chorus, just like the first line or two. Might not even be the first, second verse. Every time he nails the artist and the song. He's like 12 for 12. Well, he is.
Yeah.
So, and it's obvious he's very good at Program Password too. What is he not good at? I think he's wonderful at everything he does.
He's just a perfect human being.
I think he really is. I truly believe that.
So Swedberg and Larry Mondello guy are the 3 seed. They'll take on the number 6 seed, Max Fuller and Lucky Meat Sauce.
Wow, I like that. Now that's got potential.
Max and Meat Sauce as a team. And Max, 11-9 all time. He's won 2 in a row. Meat Sauce, 14-17 all time. The two of them combined for just a 1-6 record in Program Password Invitational. But the two of them together had never played with each other until 3 weeks ago. and they just routed Lil B and me.
Really?
83-30. They destroyed us. So they might have a little bit of chemistry going on there. So
it's a combustible combination. It seems like that's a feast or famine kind of combination, it looks like to me. And they could feast.
Yes.
Quickly?
Yeah.
651 on the from the 651, the Brad, John, Brian, KFAN text line. This text messenger says, I think the 8th seed is too high for Fullness and Must.
Genius.
It's brilliant.
So Swedberg and Larry Mondello guy, the 3 seed versus Max and Meat Sauce, the 6 seed. That'll be next Friday, May 23rd at 1:30 p.m. So we'll have 2 games next week and then 2 games the following week. We'll get all the quarterfinals here in just a 2-week stretch. And then the final quarterfinal matchup, even though it'll take place on May 27th, the number 2 seed, Corey Cove and Justin Gard.
Oh, come on. Are they only the 2? I guess Lil B.
They've never played together, so I don't know what their chemistry's like. Right. Cove, 18-6 all time. That is 5th best record in program pass rate. He's the champion in 2023, the runner-up in 2022. He's 5-2 in the program pass rate invitational, though he had Meat Sauce as a teammate last year, so that hurt his tournament record. Justin Gard, pretty mediocre. He's like the Timberwolves. Mediocre in the regular season, but then great in the postseason.
Right.
15-15 all time, but he's 6-2 in the PPI, including a championship in 2022 as a member of Team Todd. They will go up against the number 7 seed, Tommy Olson and Zach Helverson.
Wow.
This team will be ready to party. There's no doubt about that. They'll bring the energy. Tommy O, 2-1 all time. Helvey 3-6 all time, both of them making their program password invitational debut. So we don't know how they're going to handle the pressure.
You do your value bets? That's my value bet right there.
That's your value bet?
That's my value bet. I like that. That's a good team.
So Cove and Gard, the 2 seed versus Tommy O and Helvey, the 7 seed. That game will take place May 27th at 1:15 p.m.
What I'll say about the JG and Corey Cove team is, for me, they have 2 of the best KFAN personality nicknames of all time, Sludge and the Tasteless Box of Mashed Potatoes.
Pretty good.
Those are both really, really good. So there
Starts
you go.
next Wednesday. We will not do program password tomorrow, by the way.
Okay.
We're going to take it off until we get to the playoffs.
I'm out tomorrow. Do you want to tease what you have coming up? You say you have John Bonus in, right?
Yeah, John Bonus to talk Twins 2 to 3. Lil B is going to be there the entire 1 o'clock hour.
Okay, cool.
We might actually do a different game other than program password with her, because Kara is going to be with as well.
Oh, sweet.
As my producer. So we'll have lots of estrogen in the studio tomorrow.
Yes.
And then Dane Moore from the Dane Moore podcast to talk Timberwolves at 12:30.
Terrific. So that sounds great. Let's take a break. Come back. Other side of the break. More controversial Vikings news here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The New York Liberty are the reigning champions, and the Golden State Valkyries are the newest team to join the league since 2008. This season will be the first with Kelsey Plum on the Los Angeles Sparks, Jewel Lloyd on the Aces, and Alyssa Thomas in Phoenix. Whether you're a lifelong basketball fan or new to the game, the WNBA invites you to be a part of something bigger. Catch live games, follow your favorite teams, and witness history in the making. Watch the WNBA this season on ABC, CBS, ESPN, ION, and Prime, starting May 16th.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Hey, friend, I know how this feels. waking up exhausted after multiple trips to the bathroom, and feeling embarrassed by sudden leaks. I used to be constantly on edge, searching for a restroom whenever I was out. Then I discovered Better Woman. I was skeptical at first, but 2 months in, everything changed. I experienced improved bladder control, no more heart-stopping moments when I laugh or sneeze, less urge to go, deeper and more restful sleep. I finally felt like myself again, confident and in control. Better Woman is natural, effective, clinically tested, and trusted by women for over 25 years. Ready to take back your control? Head over to BeBetterNow.com to order your supply today. That's BeBetterNow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed. Individual results may vary.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
The word on the street then was, he's too country for pop. But then once I got to country, it was he's too pop for country. So I kind of never really had a place to fit in, but that's exactly how and why I fit. I just embraced that. Like, yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Want to chime in on what's happening with your favorite KFAN program? Make your voice heard on the Brad, Sean, Brian text line. Let us know what you have to say by texting your message to 64686. That's 64686. Standard message and data rates apply.
I've received hundreds of text messages wondering why we didn't spin the wheel of topic today. Well, we knew where to start. Even the unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf can, take a step back and, tip his cap and politely give a covenant claps or tough covenant snaps to the Timberwolves to advancing to the Western Conference Finals. I will say this. The final number wasn't real good. It was 80 at Prestwick. I went 39-41. But Tenneby, I'm on to something. I'm really, really close to playing. Oh my gosh. Maybe not only the best golf of the season, not only the best golf of the decade, not even the best golf of the 21st century, but maybe my best golf of all time. I'm hitting the ball so beautifully. Today, I got sloppy on a couple of chips and a couple of putts. And, that'll happen in one poor swing. But I'm doing the things I used to do that made me good, and it's all starting to come together. And I know you're happy for me. I can tell by the look on your face. You're really excited for me, aren't you?
Super excited.
I can say, because you sort of live vicariously through me because you don't get to golf as often. So, boy, I wonder how Common did today. It's funny, this is the first thing you ask me when I walk in at the radio station. Everybody's, how'd you go today? Boy, how was it? And it was really good. I had a tad bit of wind behind me. I hit my 17-degree hybrid. I hit it like 208 today. I can't even generally hit it 190. Now, it's a one-off, I suppose. But when I'm sort of, I guess that's preposterous. I was going to sound like a combination of Shoffley and Scheffler, but I guess that's probably a little bit preposterous. Twins, and we don't know any more as far as I know. I've not heard any. Did you see anything on Twitter yet about Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa collided, tracking down a fly ball in the outfield today? And both left the game. I'm told both now have left the game. Correa left right away. Buxton stayed in, but I've had a couple 13, 14 listeners via the KFAN text line tell me that he has also left.
Yeah, it's Ty France in for Buxton.
Okay.
Bride in for Correa.
And it has any of the Twins beat writers
I haven't
or anybody?
Seen anything.
Okay, no tweets. So they probably don't know either. And I'm sure that when they find out, they will let us know. Twins are on a roll, though. They've won 10 games in a row. Had just an awful start to the season. And they got to that spot where they were last year. Almost an identical record to last year. 7 and something or other, 7 and 20, whatever it was, 7 and 17. I don't remember the exact record, but it was. I think it was the identical record to last year, so same place, same time, and they just happened to have the same two opponents in 3-game series coming up as they did last year. They had the White Sox followed by the Angels. The Twins swept both clubs. Last year they went. Did they sweep last year and go 5-6 this year? Whatever it was just what they needed. They needed some of the Oswalds, and they beat the two Patsies teams, and ever since they've been playing better ever since. The Pohlad Pocket Protectors are kind of back at it again. They all knew who they are. They've been declared the Pohlad Pocket Protectors, mostly because they've always protected the pockets of the Pohlads. For those of us that say, hey, occasionally, why don't you spend a couple of extra bucks? You got the money. I know it's not all generated by revenue from the team, but you got it there. And they've always gone by you spend the money that you have available, and it's the big bad Yankees. It's the major market teams that have all the advantages, and it's just really sad. Though, if you'll remember, Tenneby, I found this interesting. When they always protected the Pohlads when it came to the amount of money they spent on their payroll. We're a small to mid-market team. We can't spend that much money. But they were all on board with those of us that have sort of held the Pohlads' feet to the fire when they cut payroll after winning the division and winning their first playoff games after they'd gone 0-18, and then all of a sudden they win a couple of games, win a series, and then get eliminated. They cut the payroll going into next year, and the Pohlad Pocket Protectors suddenly said, why are you doing that? And my question to them would have been, well, I thought the money didn't matter. How would that matter at all? You don't think it has anything to do with payroll? It's farm system and in creating players. And Jim Souhan wrote a piece a few days ago, and Jim's a terrific writer, and I agree with him in many cases, and I agree with the premise of his piece here. It says, if the Twins are close, the Pohlads need to go all in. And the subheadline sums it up. It says, for a prospective buyer, would you rather purchase a winning team drawing big crowds or a losing team that is irrelevant in its market? And that's spot on. If you might, you're going to find a buyer to buy the team, I think, irregardless if they're a winning team or a losing team. But man, if all of a sudden the team's winning ball games and they're winning division championships, sellout crowds, they're going to be much more attractive to a potential buyer. Plus, it's just what you're supposed to do. When you think the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter's aligned with Mars, it's the age of Aquarius, you go ahead and you help that club. Souhan thinks they could use a guy like a Nelson Cruz in the middle of the order. I couldn't agree with him more. That is absolutely what they need. What I do disagree with here, it says, because a week ago the Twins were failing. This was written on the 12th. Twins were failing to fulfill their promise. Injuries, bullpen failures, team-wide hitting slump had made them irrelevant in a sports market featuring the Vikings, Wild, and the Timberwolves, as well as the Lynx and the Frost. Pessimism abounded. It was justifiable at the moment, but when it comes to the Twins, fan pessimism is almost always overdone. He says, a reminder, the Twins have advanced in the playoffs more recently than the Vikings or the Wild. And he says, you can also argue every day that the Twins should spend more money on payroll, and who would argue? Well, the Pohlad Pocket Protectors used to argue it all the time. It's not about the money. It's what the money represents. And then he writes, but payroll size wasn't the reason the Twins failed last summer. Quality young players choking was. And payroll size wasn't the reason the Twins are terrible in April this year. Their best and highest paid hitters slumping was. And I will disagree with that. I mean, that is certainly part of the problem. But if you use money in free agency to attract proven players, you wouldn't have to rely on farmhands learning the game. Because now, the one thing the Twins are doing that I don't mind, remember they used to keep those prospects down on the farm as long as they could, so arbitration eligibility and salary ramifications and all of that, they would do that. But now they do bring guys up a little sooner, I think, than they would really want to, which I do appreciate. It's like, try to win ball games. Quit worrying about your pocketbook so much. And so they brought up some guys, I think, a little sooner than they normally would. But that's part of the problem, is relying on nothing but your farm. I think they say this about football all the time, I think, tend to be where you build the foundation of your team with your draft picks, right? You get the quality young players, you get them on rookie deals, you get offensive linemen, defensive linemen, some defensive backs, hopefully a quarterback. That's how you build your team. But then you supplement it when you feel as though the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter is aligned with Mars. That's when you say, let's go out and get a ace pitcher or something really close to that and maybe get that middle of the order guy. This team never does that. And that's what we've always said all along. And to me, that's also part of the problem is when you are going to constantly rely, because not all prospects, just because, boy, they're great in single, double, and triple A, can't wait to get them with the big club. We've seen a lot of those guys flourish, and we've seen a lot of them fail. And we've seen some flourish and then fail, and some fail then flourish. But if you're just going to constantly rely, I mean, I guess it could be the age of Aquarius someday there, where all of your prospects all flourish, and they're all not just one-year wonders. They're guys that are going to give you 8, 10, 12 years in the league. But to suggest that not spending any money last year had nothing to do with the collapse of the team last year, well, I think it does, because when you're relying on young players, especially in the clutch, when it's September and you're trying to clinch a playoff spot, and it's not going well for you, I got to tell you, there's some veteran players out there that they wouldn't blush at that. They thrive in those situations. That's what they want. That's what they live for, and they've been there before. So I think if you would have spent more on the payroll and got some other players that may have turned out the same. There's no guarantee that if you get those veteran players that have been there before, guys that have proven themselves year after, because they're pricey, and there's no guarantee that from year to year they're always going to do that. But I think it's short-sighted.
Are there still people out there that defend not having to spend money in baseball as if that's and I get it, like spending money doesn't guarantee you're a winner, and I also get that you can spend very little money and still win. But the overall percentages on the teams that spend, you look at teams that have won the World Series over the last 20, 30 years, typically they're top 10 in spending in Major League Baseball. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
So I don't understand why there's still people out there going, "Oh, you don't have to spend money in baseball."
Yeah, you do, and again, I get it. You can say it's unfair because there's no salary cap and there's no salary floor, which is just as important. And some people would make the argument, and I can buy into it, that a salary floor is even more important, because you have teams that just say, "We're not going to try at all." Teams just going to try to take that, because I remember this one. I don't know what it is now. Maybe one of our enterprising young listeners who like sabermetrics and analytics could look this up, but I remember a few years ago it was the national television contract, right, with Fox and ESPN, and who knows how many different people telecast games. Everybody's got even like in the PGA Tour now. You'll get ESPN will do the first couple of rounds, and then somebody else will do it. In NCAA basketball, TNT and True TV, and everybody gets a little bit of this, that, and that. But on that national television contract, I remember a few years ago, it was like every major league team received a check before the season. Here's $100 million. Here's a check for $100 million. And they're deserving of it because they're part of that league and part of the entertainment empire. But right away, you're getting $100 million and your salary's only $135 million. So you're only spending $35 million. I know you want to be in the black, not in the red. But to me, it's like, we've talked about this for so often. All these owners are billionaires, and they've got the money to do it. So it's if you really want, if winning is important to you, then you go ahead and you spend a couple of extra bucks every once in a while.
I don't believe any sports franchise is losing money.
No, I don't either. I don't.
I think it's impossible to.
Yes, and especially on the resale. We've seen that.
Well, yeah.
That's
the greatest investment you can have.
That's all you need to know. Should we do another PGA leaderboard update?
Sure.
Going to be Ryan Gerard. Last time we checked, was your leader at 7 under. I believe he is still the leader in the clubhouse, but he dropped a couple of strokes to me because he had to try to meander through the green mile, 16, 17, and 18 at Quail Hollow.
Yeah, he bogeyed 17 and bogeyed 18. So you're correct. He was at 7 under. He finishes at 5 under 66. Is the leader in the clubhouse, but not as big of a lead anymore. Luke Donald, Ryan Fox, Alex Smalley, Stefan Jaeger, and JJ Spawn are all at 4 under. Spawn's the only one still out on the course. He's 4 under through 6. So he's gotten off to a red-hot start. Alex Noren, JT Poston, Ryo Hisatsuni, Nico Echevarria, Matt Fitzpatrick, Robert McIntyre, Rasmus Højgaard, and Keegan Bradley are all at 3 under. By the way, Scotty Scheffler tied for 15th. He shot a 2 under 69 today. And I am scrolling down trying to find Rory McIlroy. John Rahm, by the way, 1 under 70. He's tied for 25th. Still scrolling for Rory. Where is he?
I think Rory had a bit of...
Rory tied for 118th. He shot a 3 over 74 today. So
yeah,
he's going to be sweating to make the cut tomorrow. Phil Mickelson, by the way, 8 over 79.
We talked about McIlroy after winning the green jacket, becoming only the 6th player in the history of golf to win a career Grand Slam. You know, he got I like to say he got the monkey off the back in the green jacket to replace it, right? We talked about this yesterday, Tennessee, before it started, maybe even earlier in the week or last week, whatever, and probably right after the Masters tournament this year. How would McIlroy do it? Would it be like now that he finally, because obviously you saw with his reaction on the green and in Butler Cabin afterwards that this had been weighing heavily on him. It was all consuming. And there was a lot of pressure built up and there was emotion. He let it all out when he finally won that green jacket. Then it's like, what's a guy's mental approach to the game? Is it like, I finally got my career Grand Slam? He said in a quote earlier this week in one of the press conferences, he said, I don't think anything will match.
Yeah.
What had, and I can understand that, right? So then is there not, like with me, my interest in watching sports isn't as great since 5 minutes after the greatest Game 7 in World Series history. I was on the field slapping big black Jack Morris on the back. I just don't think any sporting event can match that. So, and does he feel the same way as no tournament? And then does he play loose and footloose and fancy free and win even more now? Because what do I got to lose? I've got my career Grand Slam. Or is it like, it's just not that big of a deal anymore? You know what I'm saying? And right now it looks like it's maybe just not that big of a deal anymore. Now
Little Masters hangover, like I suggested a couple days ago.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe that's it too.
Well, you had given me advice before about how weird golf is in that you can't care too much, but you can't care too little.
Yes.
Right? If you care too much, now you're gripping the club too tight. You're letting bad shots or bad holes derail your round.
Correct.
But you also have to care enough.
Yeah, or why play?
You can't just go out there with like zero focus, right? So there's this weird little sweet spot that you need to hit, and maybe Rory has just gone to the opposite side of, well, it's hard to care too much after, right? Like after he won the Masters, I don't think he was grinding out on the range the following day, like trying to figure out how to fix his swing, right?
I think you're absolutely right. And so, but anyway, so he's, the guy I want to keep an eye on is the Spawn guy. Now it's early. He's only through, 6 at 4 under? That's a nice start, and he still has to go through the Green Mile. But, whereas the asterisk next to his name means he started on the backside. Is he headed to the Green Mile right now?
Yeah, that means he's 3. Yeah. The asterisk means he didn't have to go up against Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. And Steph Curry's a hell of a golfer, from what I understand, too. What do you have for breaking news?
Twins have released a statement on Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton. Both players were removed due to the collision in the outfield and are currently in Major League Baseball's concussion protocol.
Boy. Did they knock noggins? Did you see the play?
I still have not seen the play. I haven't seen it even posted on Twitter yet.
Well, that's dour news. So we'll keep you posted. If any, my guess is that's the most we'll get here between now and the end of the Grum. But if we hear any more, we will let you know. But the Spawn guy, remember, he had to play in the playoff with McIlroy at not Travelers, but Players. And he flew the green on 17. And he's a good player. And so be curious to see how he fares through the rest of the event. Let's pause. The legendary one, I see him over your shoulder. He's here. He's got a little spring in his step. His favorite team.
Well, he wasn't put on your team in the Program Passer Invitational, so he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Yeah, absolutely. He has advanced. The Wolves have advanced. Mark Rosen was there. I don't think he was courtside. I think he was in the media section, but we'll find out. We'll talk to him on the other side of the break. It's the Common Man program here on The Fan.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The New York Liberty are the reigning champions, and the Golden State Valkyries are the newest team to join the league since 2008. Watch the WNBA this season on ABC, CBS, ESPN, ION, and Prime. Starting May 16th.
Let your imagination take flight with an AI-powered PC from Lenovo. Whether it's creating digital art, designing new software, or building a portfolio for a future career, our PCs are powered by Intel Core Ultra processors to help students unlock smarter learning and unleash their creativity. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. All you have to do is choose the one that fits your passion. Head to Lenovo.com to shop AI PCs and find your perfect companion. Plus, get 5% off when you create an education account.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.